A special edition on Nile TV International, where we will talk about the Middle East mediators who gather in Pakistan for talks on ending the U.S.-Israel war on Iran. And the top diplomats from the key regional powers were gathering in Pakistan on Sunday to discuss how to end the fighting in the Middle East. But there was a few signs to the progress as Israel and the U.S. kept up the strikes on Iran, and Tehran responded by firing the missiles and the drone across the regional. And to shed more light on this issue, we have us on the phone Ramzy Khoury, the Jordanian journalist. It's a pleasure having you, Mr. Ramzy. Hello? Hello, Mr. Ramzy, do you hear me? Hello? Well, maybe there's the technician problem. So as we said that we are talking about the meeting that has been held in Pakistan for the foreign ministers, as Pakistan said that the foreign ministers from Saudi Arabia and Turkey and Egypt were participating in the talks in Islamabad. Pakistani Prime Minister has said that he and Iranian President held extensive discussions on the regional hostilities. More than 3,000 people have been killed throughout the month-long war that began with the U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran, triggering Iran's attacks on Israel, the neighboring Gulf Arab states, and the war has also threatened an oil gas supplies, with Iran's grip on the strategic Strait of Hormuz shaking the markets. And we have over the phone Mr. Ramzy Khoury, the Jordanian journalist. A very good evening to you, Mr. Ramzy. Do you hear me?
Good evening to you.
Good evening. Can you tell me, please, on the diplomatic talks in Pakistan, with the significant Egyptian mediation efforts, what is the significance of hosting these talks in Islamabad at this stage of the conflict?
It's extremely important because the Americans are sending troops to the region. They are threatening to occupy islands or take over control of oil supplies, Iranian oil supplies, etc. Now, such action would take us into a prolonged war, and it could also trigger action by the Houthis on Bab el-Mandeb, and therefore the flow of oil and goods through the Red Sea would also be harmed and affected. So it's extremely important that an end to the hostilities is achieved ASAP. And obviously, no longer can Oman play a role in mediation. The role of Egypt today is extremely important.
Yes. Also, Mr. Ramzy, can you tell me how effective can the mediation be without the direct participation of the U.S. and Israel?
The mediation is going to be between the U.S., Israel on one side and Iran on the other side. The mediators are going to have to communicate between the two parties, because chances are the Iranians will refuse direct negotiations. However, it has to be made clear that both sides to the equation have a very big interest in stopping the war.
Yes.
The question is, who is going to climb down the tree and meet the other side halfway? Because it is not to the benefit of Iran, nor is it to the benefit of the USA to continue this. The only party that is benefiting from all of this is Israel, because to Israel they have a major goal of making sure that Iran becomes a failed state. The best scenario for Israel is to see a civil war inside of Iran, total chaos, no chance of Iran becoming a proper state again.
Yes.
This is what Israel wants. But the USA is already paying a price. The prices of goods, not just fuel, but everything in the United States has risen in a dramatic way. The American people are really angry. There are big demonstrations going on in America. Some have estimated about 1 million people have come out in different areas of the United States against Trump under the No Kings banner, if you like. And Trump is losing popularity. And at the end of the day, Trump was fooled by the Israelis. The Israelis told him that this will not take more than a week.
Yes.
The minute that we kill Khamenei and the top leadership, there will be chaos in Iran, and the people will rise, and the regime will fall.
Yes.
But then now we have passed the month. The regime has not fallen, and therefore Trump realizes today that he was fooled into this process. This is not what he wanted, and he now knows that if he is going to continue doing this, it's going to harm him, because there are midterm elections coming up in September in the United States.
Yes.
And November, and these are vital. The Democrats could actually take control of the House and the Senate, and he will not be able to carry out any of his projects or programs. He will lose control. So this is basically where he stands. He really needs to get out of this ASAP. The Iranians also want to get out of this ASAP, but the Iranians are insisting that they don't want to go out of it in order to postpone it for a certain period of time. The Iranians want to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Yes.
And they want guarantees on that. So, but is it possible for them to meet in middle ground? Yes, it is possible, especially now that we hear the Americans, the American demands have gone down a notch. Their top demand now is for Iran to basically promise not to pursue nuclear weapons. Iran has been promising not to pursue nuclear weapons for the past, I don't know, 20 years. So this is a demand that is null and void. The Iranians will be very happy to promise such a pursuit.
Well, Mr. Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am. The other thing that the Americans are talking about is the Hormuz channel. The Iranians don't have a problem to keep the Hormuz channel open if there is not a war against them. So these two demands, American demands, these are the major demands today. Very unlike what it was 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago. The Americans are going down the tree. And what we need to do is to see the Iranians walk the same distance towards the Americans, so that so that this war stops and we move forward.
Yes. Sir, as we know that there are a lot of key mediators in the regional players like Egypt, Saudi Arabia and Turkey, but we know that Egypt is the key mediator in the Middle East crisis. To what extent could Egypt's approach to preventive diplomacy can contain the further escalation?
Egypt has the trust of both the Americans and the Iranians.
Yes.
There is a very big problem between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Iran is attacking Saudi Arabia, and the Saudis are not happy about that. And the attacks on Saudi Arabia are real attacks, and harm has been done. So there is a very big problem between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Iran has also attacked Turkey, by the way. It is, in my personal opinion, Egypt is the party that has to play the major negotiations, maybe assisted by Pakistan. But at the end of the day, Egypt has the trust of both the Americans and the Iranians, and this is what is badly needed right now in order for Egypt to be able to bring them together to the middle grounds where they can reach an agreement, and this agreement can be a long-term agreement.
Yes. And as you told me now about the Strait of the Hormuz, how concerned should be the international community be about the disruption to the global shipping routes?
Oh, it's a very big problem because the next step for the Houthis, the
Yes.
Houthis until now have not attacked any ship in the Red Sea or in Bab el-Mandeb. The Houthis are, the Iranians have not given that green light.
Yes.
This is the next step. But when that happens, we'll go back to exactly what the Houthis did in the previous bout when they attacked over 30 ships, created major damage to these ships, and totally disrupted all of the routes. And this would be devastating to Europe especially. A huge percentage of the oil that goes to Europe goes through that route. And if that route is disrupted, with Hormuz being disrupted, the damage is very big on many, many parties. By the way, the cost of oil, just because of Hormuz, the cost of oil in China has risen up dramatically, despite the fact that China has a reserve of over 1 billion barrels of oil. This is a national reserve.
Yes.
Despite that fact, the price of oil in China has risen dramatically. Japan is suffering, and Japan doesn't know what to do anymore because they decided to shift from Hormuz to Bab el-Mandeb, and they bought 2 shipments as a starting point in order to be able to satisfy their needs. Now that the Houthis got engaged, they are in trouble, and they have no idea what to do. It's a disaster. It's a global disaster, and it will raise the prices of oil. And if the prices of oil go up, then the price of everything goes up. The price of manufacturing, the price of goods, everything will go up. I'll give you an example. Right now, the bulk of fertilizers is going through Hormuz. These shipments have stopped to countries that are allied with the USA and Israel. Now, if this has created a major fear that with the upcoming spring season, when the whole world starts planting, if there isn't a supply of fertilizers, then many farmers will not actually plant. There will be shortage in food. A lot of people do not understand how the ramification of all of this. It will touch everybody in terms of wheat, in terms of all planted products, vegetables, fruits, etc. So it's not just about oil. It's a whole cycle that affects everybody's life. It is vital. It is vital that Egypt succeeds in its endeavors, and we stop this before we start disrupting the Red Sea and Bab el-Mandeb.
Yes.
Because if that is disrupted, then I fear that this is going to go into an international war, because all countries in the world are going to be adversely affected, and Europe may decide to engage in the war. This is what Israel wants. Israel wants to force Europe to engage in the war.
Yes.
And it's not to the benefit of America. It's not to the benefit of Europe.
Yes, for sure.
Definitely not to the benefit of Iran or the Middle East. The whole of the Middle East is going to suffer. So the only party that benefits is Israel.
Wow.
And I feel that the Americans now understand this, and maybe they will be much smarter today than they were yesterday.
Yes. Well, Mr. Ramzy Khoury, the Jordanian journalist, thank you so much for joining us on this special edition on the Middle East. The meeting that has been held in Pakistan. And ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our special coverage on Nile TV International. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching.